Hey my Join the Games junkies, and welcome back to this week's video. I don't know if you guys ever experience the same struggles that I do, but I always go on the Magnolia Market website, fill up my cart, then go to the checkout, and I think, oh my goodness, if I buy all these products, my husband is going to kill me. And I'm sure a lot of you guys either struggle with the same exact problem or just don't have the financials or income to purchase all these wonderful things. So I'm thinking about creating a series. Let me know in the comments if you want this series to continue, called Magnolia Market Replicas. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to make a Magnolia Market cake stand for a fraction of the cost. Alright guys, let's get started. So to recreate this piece, it's approximately going to cost around $8 or $9. It really depends if you're a true DIYer like myself, and you probably have a lot of this stuff laying around. But the three main things to make this replica, you will need this plaque that I picked up from Michael's. It's originally $5.99, but what happened was between the plaque and the pedestal, my husband and I both had 40% off coupons, so we paid separately. So we approximately paid $3.60 for this plaque, and then this pedestal was about $5.50, but once again, we paid separately, and my husband used the 40% off coupon, so we got this for about $3.30. And the last main item you'll need are these wood beads. I didn't know for sure if I was gonna need 1 or 2 packages of these, so I got these at Hobby Lobby. They're $1.99 each, but they happen to be half off that week. So what we're going to do with these is we're going to place them along the bottom of this pedestal to create this replica. Now the rest of these items you probably already have at home, like this gray wash stain by Rust-Oleum. This was cheesecloths left over after that I use in my DIY would-be garland tutorial, a sanding block. Most people have sanding block, sandpaper, something just for a little bit of distress. Now, you can attach this 2 ways. I've seen where people do the same thing where they attach it just connecting the 2 pieces with hot glue, so it's very easy if you don't have any power tools. Or I'm actually gonna shoot probably about 3 or 4 nails into the center and then fill it in with this wood filler, sand it down a little bit, and then that's when I'll start my staining and painting. So I had this leftover plaster paint, it's a chalk paint, a little chip brush, and lastly, a hot glue gun. We're going to use this to attach all the wood beads along the bottom of the piece, or if you also want to use this hot glue gun to attach the pedestal to the plaque to create this cake stand, you can do that as well. Alright, so the 3 main items are these wood beads that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, this plaque that I picked up from Michael's, and lastly, this pedestal that I picked up from Michael's as well. Now what we're going to do is hot glue on the wood beads across the bottom of the base of this pedestal, then take the plaque and attach it to the top of the pedestal to create the cake stand. Now I am getting a pencil in this level, which I'm using once again as a visual aid to show you guys how to mark it off. Now the plaque is approximately 8.5 inches wide and the top of the pedestal is 4 inches, which means that we need at 2 1/4 inches going all the way around the plaque. Alright, now that I have my cake stand marked, we are going to be pulling out some power tools. So this is my nail gun. What I plan on doing is shooting in about 4 nails into the center of the cake stand into the pedestal. But guys, this is totally optional. If you don't have power tools, I've seen this done before where people just take hot glue, smush it together, and as long as it's centered, it works out perfectly fine. Alright guys, so now I'm just taking some wood filler that I had here at the house, and I want to fill in my wood holes so it doesn't have like random 4 little nail holes in the piece. And basically all you have to do is just push it in kind of like a putty or Play-Doh, and that way you get an even finish. Now that my wood fill has dried, I am taking a little sanding block and I'm sanding it down to get a nice, clean, smooth finish. Now guys, if you are going to replicate this idea, learn from my few mistakes that I made so you don't make them too. First thing is first, make sure you get all your wood fill off. See that little spot on the top? I didn't get it all off. But now I'm just taking some leftover cheesecloth that I had from a previous project, and I'm going to use this disposable cloth to dip into my wood stain that's a carbon gray color. And basically I'm just gonna start at the top of this cake stand, dip it in, you know, apply it. But then mistake number 2, I should have used something like this on the screen, a different wood stain, and mix the two together, because it turned out a lot darker than I wanted it to. I was planning on sanding it down to give that distressed look, but still it was a little too dark. So now I'm taking off the excess stain that is on the top of the cake stand, and then starting around the side of the cake stand, the base of the cake stand. I started using more of a sporadic way to make sure that I had it match the top. So I did more of like a spotty type effect, and then I added in the lighter wood color stain. It's not really light, it was like a medium to a medium dark. And now I'm going back to the top to still try to blend in that splotch because it didn't work out like I had originally planned. So now I'm taking in my chip brush and getting in all those little crevices that you obviously can't get in with the cloth, and applying it all throughout the cake stand. So now I'm just taking my leftover cheesecloths and kind of sporadically and spontaneously applying some gray stain, a little bit of brown stain. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm gonna later on take my hand sanding block and sand them down just a little bit. Now, not to scare you guys, but boom, my dog knocked over one of my studio lights and I almost cried, but that's why the lighting is just a little bit weird. Here, I'm just sanding everything down, noticing that I can't get rid of that spot. I was freaking out. So what I had to do is completely sand the whole top again and re-stain the top, but you know what? I loved how it turned out. Now you see with the wood beads, that's where I'm going to bring my hot glue gun in and start adding them about 3 at a time so the hot glue doesn't dry too fast. And then I'm just gonna continuously do this along the base of the cake stand. And you guys, I am just so in love with just the finish, how it is right now. But wait, there's going to be more. Yes, I'm taking some leftover plaster chalk paint that I've had around the house, and I just wanted to do a little bit of a dry brush technique where I just apply it to the top of the paint lid and then dry it off on the paper towel. Now, you just do this very, very, very sparingly along the piece. I even then, towards the end, went back in with my hand sanding block because I had just a little bit too much coverage. But I absolutely loved, look guys, loved how it turned out. And that's about it. It is super easy and simple to make. It literally cost me about $8 or $9 because I had a lot of the stains and paints. So you could do this with any stain or paint. You don't have to do the exact same colors that I had. I loved, you know, I know this was a replica series, but I liked how I added in the white detailing along the side of the plaque, on the pedestal, on the beads. You know, it's a little bit more my style, but I'll show you guys next week how I'm going to use this in my home, and the biggest decor haul, and I personally think the best one yet. You want to make sure you're subscribed because this is not only a decor haul with myself, but multiple other farmhouse YouTubers. If you like this video, give us a big thumbs up. And until next time, bye guys!